into game number 4. It is match point. Falcon may be playing their final game in this one.
Yeah, this is Myanmar's champion. Last chance to make a stand here now before they got completely sent home here. Let's take a look of the changes on this draft. Actually, we're going to stick with the Farsa ban. Are we going to go with Estes ban yet again? We shall find out. And this time, I really want to see Yellow Flash on Lapu, because when he's on Lapu, he's a different kind of player, you know? Like, they've been prioritizing it every single step along the way to this point, and somehow, just because they're trying to counter the Incendio, they're bending themselves into a corner.
I agree. They're overthinking themselves, right?
Yeah.
I think I like the Lapu, but not against the carry. Deal with the carry. Please deal with the carry, right? If they actually still want to stay in this, the carry, and you can see it. Incendio, they're playing with it. They're like, hey, you think we're going to let it go? You think we're going to be the ones banning out the Valentina, the Faramis, and the Wanwan, but now you're the ones forced to do that, right? You're the second pick, Falcon. So now Wanwan banned out. Farsa as well. You have to choose between the Estes, the Kaja, or the carry.
Or the glue.
I mean,
There's so many available, man. There's so many available.
if they leave the carry open, Incendio are going to first pick it. But Falcon will have something to say about that with the Kaja, right? But if Falcon leave the Kaja open and the carry open, then Incendio will just pick up the Kaja, similarly to game number 2.
Personally, I feel like Falcon, hot take right here, ladies and gents. Falcon may just leave the Estes out.
Yes.
What? There you go. That's a Kaja white ban away. Now Incendio Supremacy right here. I think that's a good carry pick. And then all of a sudden, this glue doesn't look as viable anymore.
No.
But this also means Falcon, remember how we set this up. Falcon is the kryptonite to a Turkish delight strat. They should have the answer to this Ube strat. They may force Incendio into this strategy.
Now, I want to talk about this draft, right? Yes, it might have some doubts about it, but at the same time, you ban the Conjure away. Conjure was the reason why in the previous series, previous games cannot use the Fanny efficiently to get to the back line, you know, to kill the Beatrix. So this game, they banned it away. They have a lot of Conjure. They have one of the best assassin players in the entire M4. So taking the Conjure away from the entire table allows them to really, really optimize those assassins. And I think that might just be picked up in the next round. Here we go, the Harith and the glue being taken out by Falcon Esports.
This is the Falcon that we need to see. First phase, pick away that Harris, something that you can use to counter that carry. Just take a look at Incendio Supremacy. It's ranked number 1 in the number of unique heroes used. 30 heroes. Just now was what, 28 heroes?
Yeah, they picked up the
introduced 2 more.
Lunox and the Atlas, right? So 2 new picks for them, and at this point, they might just be stacking on that, right? They're up against the glue, they're up against the Harith right now. Honestly, they already have a good pick in the carry. They just need to set up over again for the carry. Previously, they went for the Grok, and here it can still be a solid choice, but the Estes is left open. They go instead for the Benedetta and the Estes.
The meta picks for Incendio, right? The Benedetta on the Alien, Apex 47 on the Steez. This is all their comfort picks. This is what the entire M4 at this point is scared of, to be honest, coming out from Incendio. And that's what has been Falcon banning away for so long. Now, letting Estes coming out, I think this is the game for the notorious Granger.
Yeah, I feel
not
like
now, though. I don't think you... Do you pick it now?
I feel
Granger
like
actually
it's not
do really
enough.
well into carry.
True, but like...
But you have to counter burst heal coming out from the side of Apex 47, but now it feels... Dave!
They picked up the Granger here.
The prediction, what can I say?
Oh, man. There you go. That's the Granger pick for Falcon Esports. They're pulling out all the cards this time, right? No more hiding. Now we're going to have to look at bans.
Yves is wide open for both these two teams.
That's why I thought the Yves was going to be picked up here first, right? Get a solid hero.
No, it's like, why do you pick a hero that you know no one's going to ban? That is something that I have a bigger question. You know that this Yves is definitely going to go into the banning pool right there. Why do you prioritize the Granger pick?
I don't know. I mean, like,
exactly.
I mean, listen,
that's what I said, like, early
the
on.
reason why I predicted Granger, because that's something that we've seen from Falcon in practice, also on tournament stages. When they pick out the Harith, that means they're probably going to have, they already picked out basically all their silence, right? You know, the glue on the one side, the Zippix with Harith on the other side, and usually when you have the kind of fighter going to the silence, we've seen a hyper carry coming from Falcon. You know, the hyper carry is usually Granger. You know, yes, if you can pick Assassin, hyper carry, the Ling, the Hayabusa, but those are just too little room to wiggle for mistakes. You know, but Granger on the other hand, you can take Granger and you can stay in the back and do a lot of damage. And the Falcon, by the way, Naomi get a lot of vision usually when he played the support. Like I said, he likes to play aggressive. You saw how mechanically godly this guy is on all kinds of different characters. So Granger this game make a lot of sense, and that's why I said it. But is it this early prioritized? I don't know.
I think the biggest problem I felt from the side of Falcon is that, yes, they pick up the Granger. I think that's, well, that's nice and dandy. But what I would like to see is the real world manipulation. You know, the edge of that box is used to stun so that can land down the ultimates well. Because if you notice from the side of Falcon right now, they don't really have this Omega big AoE lockdown. Whereas for the side of, you know, a Incendio, right? They do have definitely the Benedetta will be bringing in the Petrify. There's also this massive slow field coming out from the Estes. There's also that slow coming out from that carry. Something also very interesting is that Falcon banned away the Hayabusa. I think it's more of a knee-jerk reaction. Farsa is super wide open for the side of Incendio to pick up right now.
It's also open for Falcon to pick up, right? It
Yeah.
can be a choice for them. They can go for something. Okay, they go for something a bit safer with Lilia, but this just gives Incendio the chance to pick up.
Wait.
Another
Rosa.
new hero for Rosa.
That's 31.
This man's on a mission, man. 31. Incendio need a jungler unless the Benedetta was a flex towards the jungle. Oh, there you go. You can already see it. They're going to go for it again. They want to go for the dive. Up against the Granger, though. I actually really like the Granger matchup up against Leomord. Good kite, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And on top of that, Falcon, you know, I'm thinking at this point, if they want to go for this front-to-back composition, a roamer that can suit well, they're going to lack a lot of initiation for Lear.
How about Chow? You know,
Chow?
Yeah, Chow's really good, right? Remember, Franco's still available on the table, and with the Leomord, they can easily lock him down
Or
for Granger to do free damage. Kufra will be really good as well. Will completely counterweight TNZ on the Leo, right, to make sure he doesn't dash away. And the Benedetta, obviously, and Naomi play a nasty, nasty Kufra. Speaking of that, he's gonna go with Lolita.
I don't really like this Lolita pick.
Same.
I feel like the Kufra is a lot better. The bouncing ball is a lot easier to execute. But I also understand what Falcon needs, something to point and click stun, especially on the Leoma that's jumping all the way in. But I feel like this is arguably the best in slot for Falcon. But I think the Kufra is a lot better. The bouncing ball should be something that's a lot easier to handle. I don't know what to feel about this as we're going to go into potentially the final game of the day from the side of Falcon.
I love the Lilia pick now, right? Because again, they have a very weak weak jungler here. They're gonna have to get a lot of mid control, and with the Lilia pick, that's exactly what they get. Mid control gonna be in favor of the Burmese here, and we'll see based on the drafts because the Granger is gonna be the key factor if they win or even if they lose.
And ladies and gentlemen, this game stake cannot be any higher. In the crowd, let me hear your support for your team.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into the final game, potentially, for the side of Falcon. Incendio has been reigning supreme for the past 2 games in a row. Looking to replicate that once again in game number 4.
Okay, let's take a look at it again, right? Ken, does he go for a killing spree? I do believe he, yeah. Okay, it's a killing spree emblem for Ken. Again, just very standard emblems here for both of the teams, you can already see. But Yellow Flash is still opting to go for the sprint on that glue. No flicker, not even the vengeance that, you know, we usually see. So Justin also is opting to go for that sprint.
Oh, the Wombo combo.
First
Here we
blood
go,
again.
Falcon might be in trouble. And sure enough, the first blood going to Falcon. This is the 4th game in a row.
Okay, some struggle signs, fight life signs happening for the side of Falcon. That is a good kill given over to Ken, and that's the power of the Granger in the early game. But when you go towards the later part of the game, the Rosa would definitely have enough items to burst down any single target from the side of Falcon, and it's so much easier for TNZ to follow up with the Phantom Steed.
That's going to be really tough, I agree, right? Oh, who can actually get to the Granger? It's just the Kagura that I can really think of, and the Benedetta technically with the final blow, right?
Oh, here we go. The stun comes in into the skill 1, and this is the Ken. Finding Death Sonata, finding another kill into the jungler of Incendio. Falcon fights back in game 4.
Threading the needle. Good positioning by Ken to find that Death Sonata just in between of the members there. And you can see already they're trying to put Ken into a position where he can get the most gold here. Already taking a few hits on to the turret gold and even picking up that gold buff. So the snowball is already ready for Falcon right now. 1,000 gold lead and 2 kills onto Granger.
That's a very early game gold lead, right? And not only just that, it is also Yellow Flash doing a tremendous job in making sure that someone stays still or can to land that ultimate. So remember what I said, I need Falcon to have a hard CC. Well, technically speaking, Yellow Flash, that is also kind of like a hard CC.
I like what you said regarding Glue is making sure they're staying still. That's exactly what Glue does, right? It fits the name, fits the character, and that's the playstyle for Falcon. I mean, they play Granger like no other team, right? Because right now, this meta is heavily assassin focused, sometimes the tank jungle, both are viable. Falcon plays Granger like just a like last season, like M3, you know? They play the Granger is still the most meta character in the game right now. Here we go, speaking of that, Naomi coming in with the stun, Destinado finding a lot of damage. Rosa, beautiful dash to dodge away from the damage.
If it goes like this, you can already see it just now in the item check. Ken is already building towards the Hunter Strike very early on. If he gets that down, that's a lot of damage early for Ken, and there's no one on Incendio that can really sustain or soak in that damage. Remember, the Hunter Strike will basically add into Ken's mobility, getting more of that Rhapsody and getting the Destinado down easier.
Yep, and not only just that, Rosa is going for the late game route,
There
right?
you go, 3 minutes.
Pulling out the clock, but it's going to be a emblem coming out just for show for now. Zipex goes for the mystery shop. You mentioned about Hunter Strike for Ken. I'm looking at the same for TNZ as well. Hunter Strike also killing spree, but here we go.
Here we go, Phantom Steed just to get away. TNZ, can he make a Yellow Flash into an Nimrod Blast? It's not going to come back for now, but TNZ taking low. Ken is the target, but he will find a reverse kill. Allen surviving on 1 HP, not for long. Double kill to the side of Falcon.
4-0 start for Falcon and Zipex.
1v2.
On the bottom side, Zipex with the ultimate. Final all damage, Sunshine, 1 HP. But thank you for the blessing of Moon Goddess. He will survive for now.
It will go so bad if Apex 47 wasn't there. You can start to see this is the reason why the Costin Nest has been talking about Zipex carry. The key answer to a carry pick, and top side is already gone for Incendio.
A key answer to a 2v1. Remember, that wasn't just the carry 1v1ing, because if it was, you could say goodbye to Sunshine. But with Apex 47 baiting out the ultimate 2 now, it's Falcon who have the resource advantage coming into the second turtle of the game.
Here we go, TNZ looking for the ultimate anytime, but look at the Glue's position though, sneaking from behind. Quietly and softly, you know, like a Glue, you know, pretty noiseless, right? Pretty quiet. And here we go, the stun comes in, TNZ will have to dash away. The Phantom Steed comes out, looking for the damage, but will have to dash away for now. And the Falcon one more time. Wait! What is the turtle? What's going on? Rosa will steal the stuff away. And now, Mega Kill goes to Granger. Falcon looking to retaliate, finding anything he can. TNZ finding the kill. He will get the kill onto Naomi and equalize the fight, but at the same time, what a beautiful steal coming from Rosa.
Hippity hoppity, you are my property. It's not only applying to TNC, it's also applying to Rosa. What a crazy steal coming up from Incendio.
Oh, that was, I don't know what, I guess that was stellar, right? Oh my goodness gracious, what a steal. TNZ though, he is still the Lord Slayer. Rosa stole that one earlier, but rank number 1 and the highest Lord secured in M4 is TNZ with his incredible retribution. Rosa might follow through in that stat department though.
Yeah, one Lord for Rosa, but I mean, the biggest question is, among these 14, how many are stolen?
Oh, here we go. Numenon's blast. TNZ found himself in trouble, but a flicker this time, and TNZ will have to dash away.
TNZ!
With 1 HP, he's able to get to safety. What a beautiful mechanic, and a little bit of miscalculation from Naomi on the flicker.
Uh-oh, misplays happening left and right. That's gonna definitely impact the confidence coming in. And you can see Falcon, I think if they were able to get the turtle and a few more kills on the board just now in that turtle fight, you would actually see Ken go for more damage instead of going for the brute force breastplate in the second item. Sure, it's still really good here. It gets some more defense, plus also that movement speed. But at this point with 4-0, let's see. I think he should have gone for more damage.
I feel like this is not the final form for the side Incendio. If you notice, Apex 47 has been babysitting Sunshine most of the time at the bottom lane. Another thing to also note is that Rosa is picking up the clock. Rosa is gonna slowly scale with the clock's destiny as time goes by. Falcon, on the other hand, Your time is a little bit short.
Lane.
Yes, there's a Zipix at the last game, but Tianzi.
One more time, jumping in onto Naomi, who's taking very low, but here comes retaliation though. Numerous Blast will go wide for now. And now Zipix finding his way into the team fight. Damage is in. Ken looking for the Death Tsunada, connecting one, but not the other two. And now Falcon looking to get away as Alien makes his entrance to the team fight. Yellow Flash on himself, isolated by the entire team. And Falcon now making a move onto the turtle.
All ultimates gone. My goodness, that was a brilliant fight with both teams disengaging. Falcon, though, will have a bit more pressure to play with around the turtle, starting it up first here. So Incendio needs to find a proper response. They need to be able to get that gap closer down towards Ken. If Ken is in that backline free hitting, it should be Falcon who wins.
Yeah, here we go. Look at that. Ken pulling the turtle away. But Alien, look at this position, and Rosa on the side. They're looking to flank the backline at any time. This is double trouble we're talking about. Speaking of double trouble, here's TNT coming in with the ultimate one more time. But yet, it's just a trade-off of skills. There's no casualty just yet, but Naomi's HP is worrisome.
Ultimates are coming back up online already. It's going to be Falcon
Here we
as
go.
well. Oh, but here we go. They need to come into this
The
fight.
mask, and this is a full Falcon diving in. They find kill number one at Apex 47, who had nowhere to go. As Alien on the run, he will get away, but a turtle cannot, as Falcon will take this objective.
Beautiful execution by Falcon, baiting out that Phantom Steed first, looking to go for a team fight there, but it's all just a bait to bait out the resources. Ken, with no resources available from Incendio to actually dive into the back line, can get that Death Sonata easy. And that's the thing about Falcon's composition here. Ken doesn't even need to be close to the fight. All he needs to do is pop the Death Sonata from afar, and he does enough damage to zone Incendio away. If he targets it perfectly, he might even be able to assassinate some targets. And now you can see, carry, sure, Corrosion Scythe and that Golden Staff, but when you're being outranged this much and you're out-sustained by a Herod that can just constantly be in your face while not taking damage, the carry really struggles.
Not only just that, Brute Force Breastplate already built in before the side of this Granger. Need to prioritize on those defenses that if you notice the damage start to go down.
One more time, TNT jumping in. Naomi is a target. He will be taken down first.
Yellow Flash.
As now Incendio fighting back with the Granger. Death Tsunada connecting onto TNT, who's taken down to one shred of health. Alien jumping in, but himself alone, and he will be quickly eliminated from the map. This is a 1v1 trade so far, and Falcon will move back to their side of the jungle.
I take any EXP laner for my Roamer any day. Not that, Roamer's life don't matter, but your sacrifice is valiant.
Very value. 0-2-0 Alien though, in terms of gold, not too value, but in terms of pressure on the map and getting Yellow Flash to a point where he's gonna be ahead of Alien, very, very value. Now, Incendio, I think you're really starting to see that mid-game power spike for Apex 47. He's getting a lot of the healing done and sometimes even out-healing the damage coming from Falcon. So this is where Falcon really needs to allocate their damage properly. If they don't target the right targets.
Bottom side,
Solo kill!
The one-on-one! And Falcon take down the Supreme. Beautiful job from the Granger.
Revenge from game 2.
I feel like Falcon finally realized the way to counter the Leomord is in that Granger. Whenever the Leomord is charging towards you, he has to run in a straight line, and that's where you can land all your Rhapsody. You can land down, and that's MSCA modes. You can also land down your Death Sonata as well. It's going so well for Falcon, but at the same time, Falcon is on a timer. They need to end the game very quickly, and they know it. They're taking down turrets for now, and they're taking the First Lord.
Incendio are really struggling to find, a proper engage to lock down that back line because of how good Falcon's front to back really is. You can see here, TNC gets the Retribution down, secures the purple buff. But with the Lord marching, Falcon just wanted to actually, bait out the Retribution, use it to siege more turrets here. Alien's doing a very good job at actually clearing out that top lane. And Falcon, they're forced to group up with the team. That's how the composition is made for, right? What the composition was made for.
Guys, I haven't said Necklace of Durance for a long time.
One more
and
time.
There it is, the
Death Tsunada connecting. As devastation, disaster still for the side of Incendio. Falcon take the tower and kill as dessert.
Good wave manipulation. Now it's a slow push in that bottom lane.
Bottom
Yellow Flash
side.
jumping in.
Yellow Flash finding a split. Is it gonna jump in? Not yet. The objective's pretty clear. They got a bottom high ground tower. And now it's Ken finding the poke, just a little bit of naughty in the base before they move on to the second high ground tower. The first one has already gone down. Falcon is controlling this map.
I like the fact that Ken, usually when he plays his Granger, he uses the Detonata to just poke as well, right? Not just dealing damage, but here in this case, there's no reason to poke with the SS on the enemy team. He holds on to that to actually execute the enemy members when they get back towards Apex 47, which is brilliant.
I think the most important thing about from side Falcon, yes, that's a concealed play by Naomi, trying to look for some form of pickup right there. The mid lane turret is slowly crashing in. Yellow flash, creating a lot of space for Falcon to basically allow them to take the mid lane, but same thing. I like the itemization coming up from Justin, but Rienzi.
This is brutal. TNZ jumping in, found himself on the glue, but you know, that's not a target you really want to go to, and TNZ was like, ew, this is too ugly. He walked away. So
I like that, right? He just looks at glue, nah, you're ugly.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna run
ugly.
back on my horse to get away as fast as possible, man. But this composition for Falcon, it's built to siege. You can see so much zoning, so much range. Incendio, how do they even look for a fight here? The poke comes in.
The Death Tsunada comes out, just a little bit of damage. Alien found himself isolated, have to dash away, but the last remaining tower will be taken out. Falcon looking to end the game and take us to game 5. Here we go, a little bit more poke. All right, they back away.
I feel like Falcon is not respecting the damage coming out from Rosa. Usually in my ranked games, I don't know. I don't know whether to compare my ranked games and M4, but usually when you see a Kagura Umbrella, you stay the hell away from it. But Falcon, they ignore it. They know the Rosa doesn't really have that much damage as of now, and they're taking advantage of that.
Exactly, I'll tell you why. It's just no damage, because if you look at the itemization from Falcon, there's not even a lot of magical defense, right? There's just one Athena there for Naomi, but if you look at the Kakura, just no damage. Genius Wand and the Clock of Destiny is all he has.
Yeah, no damage gaming is not the word I want to describe Team Falcon. They're packed with damage. Alien will have to get away, but Yellow Flash in the front, split. Can't quite find the target just yet. And now they will move away, but remember, the Enhanced Lord is already born onto the Land of Dawn. It's Falcon making the move.
Lots of ultimates already being expanded by both of these two teams. Falcon does have the Lord advantage for now. This is going to be how Apex with Zipix standing down.
Oh, here we go. Zipix, the only people away. They find a Leo. They have the Super Sense. No, Leo is trying to steal the Lord away. Remember, this guy is the #1 Lord Slayer on the map. You gotta respect the number, because that doesn't lie. Here we go, though. Monster kill goes on Ken. Falcon is unstoppable, and now they're gonna take on the Lord to solidify the control over this game. And speaking of that, in the mid lane is Alien being is TNZ being taken down.
10,000 gold lead, and it just seems like we are gonna get that final game in the series. Now Sunshine zone away. Oh no, he's out of the base.
Oh, Sunshine.
Wrong way. That's not where you should go home.
Oh, here comes Numinous Blast connecting onto one. The Death Tsunada will find the kill as Falcon claim the base. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a game 5.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the fans asked for it. We're going to go into game number 5. It is Incendio pulling out the Ube strat, which Falcon extremely knows how to handle. And surprisingly, they're allowing Falcon to just take it away.
What an incredible draft from Falcon Esports in game number 4. We saw an incredible draft from Incendio in game number 3, and you could see the level of progression, how much both teams improved just in a matter of minutes. Remember, the break isn't that long. They're improving this much over the course of like, what, 6-7 minutes?
Yeah, and I gotta say, dude, this is what I've been expecting all along, to be honest, letting the ASTs go, because we seen what Falcon did. They countered the Blacklist strategy, the Wu-Wei strategy with the Granger. They should not be worried about it since the beginning, you know? And now they've proven their theory one more time, so next game, we're probably gonna see a similar draft, not banning the ASTs.
Yeah, I don't think Falcon should be super hyper focused on top of the Estes, but Estes. Yeah.
The sexy way of saying it.
Okay, but you know who's even sexier? We're gonna throw it over to the analyst desk very, very soon. They'll be, you know, giving us even more breakdown, because I feel like there's a lot of things that went very well for Falcon in this particular match. Not only just from the fact of the item builds, but also in terms of the draw. But I believe the better brains are on the stand. Gideon, and Arashi, and Wolf, take it away.
Thank you very much, Jace, Jay-Z. Man, we're now gonna go to game number 5, and STs, like Jace mentioned, is it that big of a problem, you think?
Well, honestly, I do think there's other aspects that we really need to break down to really explain why it didn't necessarily work. And, you know, the Ube strategy, I think people are giving a lot of credit and think that, you know, it's all about the Estes. That's why it's called Ube. Yes, it's a component, but it's not everything just yet.
Yeah, it's like an ingredient in a big recipe, right? In a big cookbook. Now, Falcon, the way that you saw game number 4 and how they approach it, it really felt like it wasn't their first rodeo against this kind of strategy. They won against it in the group stages. They've shown that in game number 1, the way to go is to disrupt the tempo. So they went all in this early game strategy wherein they got the Granger, as they did before, and then the Harith to win the laning matchup. So the draft was all about winning the lanes first, and then utilizing that little economy that they have, and then press it against the lineup of Incendio Supremacy. You saw how they utilized Naomi earlier on with the Numino Blast. Even when it's just one hero, they made it sure that Incendio will not be able to gather all of their things together for them to thrive in the mid game.
I mean, we see a pattern here, right? Falcon, whenever they can get control of the game and completely dominate, they get that victory. When Incendio is able to make things difficult, to try and complicate things, make it a bit of a back and forth, that's where they kind of shine. So in that final game, are we going to see yet another contrasting draft, or are they going to try and fight fire with fire?
I think it's a little tough to say because we've seen both sides of the teams. You want to play farm-heavy compositions, Falcon can do it, and we definitely see Incendio just absolutely cracked at it. But I think, it's the engagement factor here from Incendio that we're kind of missing out a little bit. I mean, you can see it on the back of us that we're going to be throwing it over to the in-game stats. And I'm very interested to know Wolf's thoughts on this, because for me, I do feel like the glue is a bit of a false positive, especially when you do see something like the carry as well as the Benedetta to kind of nullify it in team fights and in the lane itself.
Yeah, I think it's also attributed to what you just said before your question, because we saw that Rosa as well as Rosa as well as Apex are playing more passively. Kagura and Estes, they don't have engage. Whereas here on the side of Falcon, you see this glue, which should be bothered about all of the frontal damage coming up from Incendio Supremacy, but he's not, because there's no way to engage. He's freely sustaining himself. Surely he's taking the damage, but he's able to do what the glue does, sustain himself and be a problem to the opponents.
I want to take it a step further here, because we've seen in previous games that Yellow Flash gets absolutely shredded down by Sunshine, while Alien kind of cuts off the backline with a Petrify Electro Final Blow combination. But now you have Ken, who actually can participate in it with the Death Sonata all the way from halfway down the river. Sunshine gets hit by it once, Apex gets hit by it once. Instantly, we're seeing the Blessing of the Moon Goddess, and then there is an escape mechanic with Naomi, and if Justin's really feeling it and has the black shoes, can actually follow up. So I think that Falcon has kind of figured out how they want to participate in fights, as well as how they want to disengage from these fights.
I mean, I think that shows again the importance of roamers and the importance of being able to make the first move, right? Being proactive and getting the surprise factor onto your opponents. We take a look at a bit of the post-game stats here. You can see that honestly, this game was just so one-sided. 0% kill participation on two members from Incendio.
That's brutal.
That's brutal.
It really is.
I really want to add to what Gideon said. You remember, back in November, we casted one tournament where the lethal pokes are there, bursts, lethal bursts. What we saw in that meta, lethal poke is quite weird because it's a poke, but it's lethal, right? But you kind of feel that way, right, in that previous game. The way that they're utilizing this Granger in combination with the Lilia, once you get seen by the members of Falcon, they just go all in. They're not wasting their time. They're not ultimate dependent, but at the same time, they pack up a punch. That is why the ultimate coming out from the Estes is so much more nullified, because you force it out so earlier on.
I mean, these are high-value ultimates. If you had to really make a comparison between the two, Black Shoes compared to a Yin Yang overturn, one has a lot more impact. So when Rosa uses it and misses, Falcon initiate immediately.
I mean, looking at both positions, you can also see that Falcon has an abundance of DPS, which we saw a bit lacking whenever we can see that when we see Incendio try and outlast their damage, but now with a Harith, with a Lilia, with a Granger for good measure, there's just way too much damage, and I think it's a solution that's working really, really well.
Yeah, right now I feel like both of the teams are making a cake, and whoever's draft has more layers to it just seems to be, tastier and comes out with a bigger win.
Tastier.
Yes.
I also like the fact that Falcon is winning against the strategy that they wanted, that Incendio Supremacy is very comfortable of. We saw already how they defeated the Estes. Now we also now see that they defeat the Leomord now, which was really scary if you think about it. The burst coming out from Incendio Supremacy is also a sight to see. But all of those strategies now, Falcon has an answer, and that is also very true with Incendio Supremacy.
Well, the MVP though for this Game number 4, it's going to be Ken on that Granger. At this point, it's a signature pick, 7-0 and 4 with a 92% kill participation. I mean, we talked about how this man was just cracked all the way since game number 1, but he shows us again in game number 4.
He's just killing it, you know? He's really just killing it every single time. He's making sure that he has plenty of movement speed so he can out-kite Leomord if he ever gets on top of him. And again, we're like digging back onto old archives of Mobile Legends games in like way back season 7 even. Granger used to be so good, Leomord used to be so good as well, but now that you can out-kite him with, again, just well played to him, it feels like Ken has studied this matchup way before, and maybe it's just instinctual to him.
And it's just, I'm just very surprised that we are seeing a lot of like variations when it comes to the jungler choices here for both teams. Both Ken as well as Tienzi, they're playing heroes that aren't being played by other players all throughout the tournament. It's just a sight to see.
It's just about picking the right hero for the right job, depending on the composition. And if you take a look at the heat map, Ken is just all over the place, man. I mean, you can say the same thing about the whole squad of Falcon. This is how they like to play. When they get an advantage, they roam all together and just push aggression on all the lanes. And then if they can do that, Incendio need a lane to try and make plays with. Otherwise, slowly but surely, they get constricted.
Well, here's the thing, right? I mean, Ken played a large part of unlocking Yellow Flash from his lane because Yellow Flash was just stuck with the Benedetta. She would always have priority. So that way, they pushed a lot of their resources up towards EXP lane. They're not looking to invade. They can just play farm heavy because what's Leomord really going to do without his items, and he needs time to scale, while Harith naturally can just say, I don't want to participate in the gold lane.
Yeah. We are going to see through the highlights the oxymoron of the lethal pokes that we are seeing coming up from Falcon. As you can see, Ken just into the back, Yellow Flash in there in front, and then you already have a lot of damage. In Incendio Supremacy, when they get into the fights, they're already put low by the members of Falcon, and when the fight is about to end, they're the ones that are losing it. By the way, great Numinous Blast coming up from Naomi in that skirmish.
I mean, the Numinous Blast, we saw that this was a bit shaky in the early game, but later on, it does what it's designed to do, right? Just zone and be a big threat, being one more factor that Incendio needs to think about. Meanwhile, the rest of the team has so much AoE on top of the already painful damage, so they just get melted down all together at the same time.
I mean, this is a great game to show Ken why he is that Burmese python here. Just the slow grasp. You can see at the top right, under Falcon's name, just the goal differential, just slowly increasing every single time.